to be honest, if you ask me, I kind of think they could have passed on Disney Plus shows. I think I mean, maybe there's some hindsight bias there, but
Yeah.
based off what we got, it's like maybe y'all should have just not done that and just stick to the movies because maybe you are just spread way too thin.
Pizza time. Pizza time. Pizza time.
You're late. Pizza time.
Pizza time.
My buddy, my good old pal. It's been what, 3 weeks? I missed you.
Yeah, 3 weeks. We're back. We're back.
We're back. We're back, baby.
We're back.
And goodness, I cannot tell you how much I miss this. Like,
yeah, same.
And you and like we barely got so much stuff happened over the past 3 weeks, and you've been gone, and it's just like I'm back at my oasis with
same.
you on our Saturdays.
The escapes are back. Our little audiences are clamoring for it.
Yes, and absolutely. And just to give a little overview of what like sort of happened, the big one is that you went to Italy. You've been at Italy looking at venues for the wedding.
Yes, sir.
Half of our show should be, or not half, maybe like a third of this should always be updates on your wedding, which would be pretty helpful, I think, for most people too.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure if people are excited to hear about Alex's
Look,
wedding.
I'm just saying. I mean, as small as our audience is, a lot of them also are our friends who are in the same age group, and they could, who are maybe thinking about getting married, who are desperately trying to, then they could, learn a few things about maybe what's going on.
Well, maybe if I'll just be happy if my wedding is half as fun as yours was.
Oh my God. You need to stop with that, good sir.
I
Jesus
just be
Christ.
as happy as that.
Our wedding was fine.
Your wedding was fantastic. It was really great.
Thank you.
Best wedding I've been to as a patron or invitee. I don't know what.
But look, like yours is coming up. I mean, Italy. I'm hearing shit called like words of Michelin being dropped.
Star. Yeah,
get the fuck out of here.
We got some
wine,
we got some fancy shit coming up. 6 bottles of wine per table. We going to get tipsy.
It's gonna get popping up in Italy.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Anyone that can make it, that's been invited, will love it. It's just Italy was a fantastic place to go visit because it's so much different than here in America. I mean, you and I are kind of the same.
Basically.
We work a lot and we put our heads down until we get the work done. Our spouses would probably say we work too much and we work too hard.
Definitely understatement of the year. I
think. But Italy was just nice because it's just such a change of pace from the American way of doing that. Like they just don't care. Like, they go to work at 9 a.m. and they take their 2 to 3 hour lunch at noon. Closes.
Yeah, is there a name for that? In Italy they do like a little break, right? Is that Italy?
Called Italy, yeah. I don't know if there's a name for it. It's just called Italy. But
hilarious.
Yeah, it was great. It was really nice to see a different side of the world. And then I think I saw. Well, I didn't think. I saw the most beautiful place I've ever been to in my life. I went to the Italian Alps, a town called Courmayeur. It was so gorgeous. It was right on the Italian Alps in something called the Aosta Valley. So nice. 100% recommend going there. It is just, the drive there is insane. It's so beautiful. And it was just a nice reset. And now we're back here grinding again. So hey,
kind of sad. back to the suck.
The food was really good. I had a couple fruits over there, and then I made the mistake of having like an apple on like my first Wednesday back, and it was
just not the same
disgusting thing I've ever eaten in my life. It tasted waxy and chemically, and it was weird.
Oh, bro, American fruits are atrocious.
Yeah,
they taste like absolute ass.
Yeah, they are. I didn't know that. My future mother-in-law was like, "Oh yeah." So hey.
Almost anywhere else, particularly in the Philippines or Asian countries, the fruits just hit differently, and they're sweeter. They taste less fake.
Yes.
But yeah, a Ralph's apple.
Yeah.
God damn.
It was like waxy and it was terrible, man. And then So and then another thing you wouldn't think would taste completely different, but obviously you know this. And then we'll talk about movies. So sorry. Is Candy. I had a Kit Kat from over
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Was very, very good. The chocolate, like it's like real chocolate. So like once you touch it, it
Yes.
starts melting.
Right.
And then I had a Kit Kat here that had been sitting not for long, like a week or two, not like 2 years. Okay, I didn't do that. But I had a Kit Kat here, and that was also the most chemically tasting thing I've ever had in my life. And I was like, I don't think I can ever have a Kit Kat again if it's not from Italy. So it might have ruined Kit Kats for me.
Oh, absolutely. No, I think if you honestly, you have anything outside of America, even within the same brand, Nestle, whatever it is, they just make it differently, and so it's gonna hit differently and just way less chemical and
they
just
just make
way
it with
better.
real ingredients, not chemicals.
Yes,
not
yes,
made to
they make it
stand
with
on a
real
shelf
shit
for 3 years.
Yeah, and it's sad because you think like, why can't we have this here, America, like one of the greatest countries in the world, and it's just like still absolute poop.
You want to know why Americans are all fat? It's probably because of the food we put in our bodies is fucking terrible for us.
Oh, it's the worst. And you can't help it. That's the thing. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, it's still good in a sense. Like, we can't help it.
Yeah,
it's yummy.
But yeah. So,
no, but it hits different for sure.
It's been a rough transition back, but hey.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We'll be
no,
back.
but that means that's good. That's a good sign. That means you had a great time, and you know, these places are so much better than America in that sense. Yes,
I agree.
Yeah.
So, that's the wedding update.
For now. Bro, can we please travel together to other? We need to just. I think we need to do a travel show. That might have to happen.
Let's do it
because
I haven't been anywhere.
Your reaction to that is just incredible. I just love that. I always love it when people go to a new place they've never been to and come back and they're just like their eyes are wide open. Same for me. Like it's just one of the best feelings. I think just experiencing life in general. It's just like, oh, there's more than what I've been doing.
Yeah.
You know, back at home, so much more, like unlimited, because it just makes you feel like, oh, like there's a real world out there that's like infinite and like so much more to experience.
Yeah,
it's so great.
I really think like Americans should learn something from a few Europeans. They got to learn to enjoy life.
Oh yeah.
You know, we work too much. You know, this isn't work, but like
no,
we
but
work
still
way too much. And
those guys we take things way too seriously. Everything is so over, particularly now. It's so over serious.
Everything's over seriously. Like when, not to be political, but when we were there, everyone was making fun of the Americans because they were making fun of old Joe Biden and how he walked. And none of these guys were doing it in a hurtful way, and no one was taking it like seriously or unseriously. It was just funny because you know, hey,
they're just poking fun. Yeah,
just poking fun, and it's not taken seriously. You do that here, you know, someone somewhere is probably going to be like, hey, that's ageist or some other stuff.
Ageist.
I don't know what it is. You can't make fun of
hey, that's bone density-ist. You fuckers.
Yeah.
It's a real problem. No, and people forget, I mean, the perception, right? Or the perspective. People have had it. People have had leaders so much worse than we've ever had.
Right.
And that's why they can poke fun at me. It's like, oh yeah, we know what that's like. Like,
yeah,
you know?
Exactly. So
and we take it so fucking seriously. And here's another example I've noticed, like being abroad and then coming back to America, just to kind of bring it back to politics just a little bit.
Okay.
Like race, man. Race in other countries is such a non-factor. Like, you know what I mean? Like no one, when I go to other countries, they don't like necessarily see me as like, like, well, I'm Asian, so that doesn't make sense. But when I go out and there's like white people, there's black people, you know, like let's just make it about those two. Like no one mentions like, oh, they're white or they're black. They're just them. Yeah. But everything in America is about, oh, it's because he's white or he's black or he's Mexican or he's Asian. And it's like, it's so funny how ironic our country is about race. It's like equality, but like we're the only ones really mentioning it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. We as America seem hyper focused on race at the moment, and in other countries,
overbearingly so.
It's not so much that way.
No,
no. I mean, I would completely agree with that. But
obviously, there's of course there's racism in other countries.
Oh yeah, that's not what
it's just not. It's just a much less
focus.
It's such a non-factor there in their like daily lives. You know, they don't let it affect or their judgment of anything mostly, unless it actually has to do with it. But other than that, like it's like whatever, who cares? But here, it's so fucking just everything. It's literally everything. Everything.
It's everything. It's insane.
Yeah, it's everything.
But hey.
Anyways, okay, not to go too far down that because God knows we could have our own political podcast on the side. Let's get into the fun stuff and let's catch up a little bit on the things that we haven't talked about for 3 weeks.
It's been so long. Yeah, man. So much missed this.
So much. Yeah, me too. So let's get into it. And to no surprise, a lot of it's Marvel. But we will get into more once we get back into the flow. But shocker. But at the same time, it's Marvel. So we got some. We got to talk about it. It's we got some news. Obviously, we're going to be talking about all these sort of MCU. Some great stuff that's been announced. Some really worrisome things that happened in the past 2 weeks, including Blade being put on hold. What else is there? Oh, Black Panther. Or no, that's not a bad thing. Basically, Blade putting on hold is a big whoa. There's also She-Hulk. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
But stuff like Deadpool 3 is being announced with a Hugh coming back, and Harrison Ford stuff
that's
in
so
the
cool.
MCU.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah.
So why don't we get into the news and we'll talk about our reviews of She-Hulk in the final episodes or just the series in general. Werewolf by Night we've seen as well, and let's get into it. So it's a band. Halloween's coming up soon. I just realized.
Yeah, maybe.
Are you a big Halloween person, by the way?
I love me some scares, not a lot of scares, but I love me a good Halloween comedy. So movies like Goosebumps always get me. I feel like I always got to watch Goosebumps with Jack Black. I love that movie.
I haven't seen it.
This is a great little kids movie.
It's good?
Yeah, I liked it. It's just a fun movie to have on for Halloween.
It got a sequel, right? So
I think
how bad could
I never
it be?
saw the sequel. Jack Black wasn't in it, I don't think, so I'm out.
I got to watch it.
Yeah.
I got to watch it.
So I love me a good Halloween comedy.
How are you with Halloween the season though? Like, do you care? Do you dress up?
No, I don't dress up. I mean,
I don't either.
I haven't dressed up.
I don't either.
16.
I like a good Halloween movie, but I could care less about the day and the candy. Yeah, and I feel like it's actually, right. Damn. Me too. I'm just like, what's the point? Like,
this is two guys that Ed had literally told me. I believe for No Way Home. Yeah, I think Ed said we should dress up as Spider-Man and go watch the premiere. So we are adults, but we're also not adults.
That was less about dressing up and more just like,
just the camaraderie.
The camaraderie of it. Yeah. Which is basically Halloween. I don't know. Sorry. Whatever. All right. Let's get on to the first piece of news here. So let's go on to I want to talk about Blade first, because that's pretty big. That was shocking. So Blade has been put basically on hold.
Yeah.
Which has now also moved a bunch of movies in the MCU down a little bit, which is fine. I mean, those are far enough. But yeah, Blade being put on hold after we heard that the director, what's his name? Bassam Tariq.
I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Bassam Tariq, yeah.
Basically left not left. He's still like EP, but he basically left the project.
Yeah, he pieced out, man. He left.
Yeah, he pieced out. He's no longer the director. And then shortly after that, we started hearing reports of the script not being very great, having very lackluster action scenes, and then Mahershala Ali not being happy with it and being very frustrated with the process of working with Marvel, and that now like Kevin Feige supposedly is spread very thin, quote unquote. And so all this stuff started snowballing out of this one thing. So Alex, what did you think when you heard that, or how did you react when you heard like, oh, all that was sort of coming out? It's very odd because it's very odd that happens with Marvel. It's a very DC thing, if I may say.
You stole the words out of my mouth. I said it's a very DC thing to happen, but from what we've heard about this film, and we said this 3 weeks ago, Ed, when we were recapping D23, we said it's kind of weird that there's been zero information or zero anything about Blade so far. We got the release date and that's it. And we mentioned that, and then lo and behold, 2 weeks later, the director bounced. On top of Mahershala Ali apparently being frustrated with the process, supposedly he hasn't been super available to help with the development of the character because he's so busy as well. So they can't find the time to put this movie together.
I can imagine. Yeah.
So like, I mean, I think he's big in producing. He's obviously a massively talented actor in high demand. And now they're on top of the reports. They're saying that they're starting the screenplay from scratch. So it seems like it's the right move. It is a bummer, mostly because this caused Secret Wars to be pushed a full 6 months.
Yeah.
So now instead of getting 2 Avengers movies in 1 year, now we're getting the same. We're getting basically the Endgame or
Infinity War
Endgame stack, right? Year after year, year over year. So it also caused Fantastic Four to be pushed, which is another massive bummer. So clearly, Blade is a massive character for the MCU, or else they would have just shelved the movie, I think.
Right.
So yeah, it's super worrisome because you just don't like to hear it about these Marvel films, and then you hear something like Kevin Feige spread incredibly thin. That's worrisome. And like you look at some of the products that the MCU has put out this year, which I think have all been not great.
Definitely this year for sure. Yes, not great.
Moon Knight was good. Would I call it great? No. And obviously we just got done with She-Hulk, and that's a whole other thing on its own, which we'll get to. But yeah, I'm very worried about it. I would not be surprised if Mahershala left the project.
Oh, I know that. That's what I was. Excuse me. That's what I was worried about too. Is like he's an Oscar-winning actor,
right,
and he's been on this project for 3 years. He's been on stage. He's been tooted, all over the place, and there's been nothing. And it's a little embarrassing. It's a little like weird.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure as an actor, he's just like, what the fuck, guys? This was supposed to be, I'm sure it was supposed to be out by now. Remember, it's been 3 years, dude. Yeah. The fact that the script, they just realized now the script was not great 3 years then? We had a pandemic where nothing was happening. Like nobody's making rewrites. Like what happened here?
Yeah.
It's very odd.
Yeah. Have you read some of the leaks about the script? Apparently it was like Mahershala Ali growing up as Blade. So living through times and through like olden times and other things and learning how to become a vampire hunter. And maybe you don't need an origin story, Marvel. Maybe just jump into it.
Well, I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know necessarily I don't think it's a bad idea. It's 2004 was the last Blade movie. It's been a while. It's not one of those that I feel like couldn't use another origin story because like nobody really remembers how like that came to be. I wouldn't mind it if it's done right. Do we need it? Probably not. No. Yeah. It just depends. It just depends on the idea. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, but no, I didn't hear about that. So it was going to be like sort of him going, but see, that's an interesting aspect, being a vampire, right? That makes sense. Time, through time. That's another, that makes sense. I would rather have that than what we got with Captain Marvel, where we went back to the 90s and that all messed that up.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Anyways,
it's sad and it's disappointing. And honestly, you just don't know what's going to happen. It kind of reminds me of the Edgar Wright Ant-Man situation. Like he was attached to Ant-Man for a long time,
right?
And then he bounced, right? Because they said they had creative differences, and Peyton Reed took it over. I think Ant-Man's one of the most underrated MCU films.
Sure. That was the first big oops too. That was like the first Marvel oops.
Yeah.
In terms of production, like that we ever heard. We're like, wait, what? Somebody left a Marvel movie? Like, what the hell's happening? Right.
It worked out. It worked out. Ant-Man came out great. They loved Paul Rudd
but Paul Rudd didn't come out saying like, I hate the script. They're like, this sucks. So this is basically one of their biggest woes so far on a production level. And it really is, again, particularly with how long this has been announced. It's like, why is this happening? This is not very Marvel-like. And again, it is. And the fact that, again, the statement that Kevin Feige's been spread thin, That sounds about freaking accurate.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a lot of fumbles.
Yeah.
This year, more than I expected, for sure, considering the track record for our boy, who we've loved and praised, only had the best things to say about Kevin Feige. And not to say it's all his fault. There's a lot of people behind the scenes. I'm not saying it is Kevin's fault. Who knows? You know, he's just one man, and he is trying to do a lot.
Right.
To be honest, if you ask me, I kind of think they could have passed on Disney Plus shows. I think I mean, maybe there's some hindsight bias there, but based off what we got, it's like, maybe y'all should have just not done that and just stick to the movies, because maybe you are just spread way too thin.
Yeah, it's clear that of the truest things that in that article about Blade is that he's spread way too thin.
Yeah, which I'm not surprised by.
He needs like a TV counterpart or something that can work with him 100% in conjunction, because this isn't working. And like, if like, you have to prioritize your movies make you the most money,
right?
When it comes to movies versus this Disney Plus thing. So it's very worrisome for the MCU, and which has had a very rough year, and we'll get into it a little later, but I don't know. I'm worried. I'm worried if we'll see Mahershala as Blade. I'm worried who could take over the project. My guess is they're probably going to try to get I would try to get like Chad Stahelski, but he's got a full schedule. Like, if you're going to make this
he's stacked too.
Yeah, if you make this like a combat movie, I really don't know who you pick up to get it. So
Wesley Snipes directs Blade.
That'd be pretty funny, actually.
That'd be pretty funny. He's never directed anything, though, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
That would not happen, but that'd be pretty funny. That'd be pretty dope, great story.
I'd be in for it.
It's really speaking about, like, you know, who could take over like a TV era, which I think it's a great idea. I think they should. That's a great idea. It sucks that Joss Whedon is canceled, because he would have been I would have thought it would have been perfect for Joss to take over the TV stuff, because he's had a lot of obviously success in both TV and film, but his TV stuff also arguably a lot of people think is like the best stuff he's made, and I'm being like, hell yeah. And his brother too, Jed, who took over sort of for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I love that show.
Yeah, you love it.
So you know the Whedons are great, and it sucks that they're just probably never going to work in Hollywood again. But you know, I think he would have been a great choice, but unfortunately that's never.
Should have been nicer to Gal Gadot.
I know, what the fuck. God, it's why is it gotta be such a, I mean, it's so ironic, because he's made some of the best women-centric
movies,
movies TV, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? But maybe that's equality over going too far, where it's like, maybe he thinks of them as just males too. Just like, maybe it's overcorrection. I don't know. Anyways, it could be. It could be. Anyway, so that's the Blade news. It sucks, but I'm glad Mahershala's still on there. I'm sure they can course correct. I'm sure it'll be fine. But it just sucks to hear. All right, let's move over to some how about the next big one? Let's talk about Black Panther 2. You take this, because you heard about the story. I didn't.
So the Black Panther 2 producers, Nate Moore, he's produced a lot of Marvel projects, but like the biggest one is Black Panther. And he is on Black for basically doing press. They're starting up the press machine for Wakanda Forever. Obviously, the trailers have come out. They look great. The first trailer was much better than the second trailer, in my opinion.
100%.
Yeah, that trailer was amazing. But this trailer also looked good. Shuri's the new Black Panther. Don't let anyone fool you. It's not Michaela Cole. It's Shuri.
Is she? Are you sure that's Shuri in there?
She has the same face paint on the mask.
Shuri
in her. It's Shuri. Stop it.
I believe it. I believe it too.
Yeah, for me, so he was doing press, and he basically compared Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, to The Godfather. Now, a lot of publications took that and ran with it, and they were like freaking out, basically saying, maybe don't do this. But I'm here to actually defend him, because when you read the quote, you have to actually read an article and read the quote. Don't just read the headline. The quote basically is saying, hey, the movie's about other kind of mob families trying to take over Wakanda because their leader is dead. That is essentially The Godfather. Don Corleone's giving the power to his son. That's the Godfather. Yeah, that's a good comparison for a movie, and it actually makes me kind of excited, especially in terms of what I don't really know what we're calling Namor's people yet. I don't know. They're not Atlanteans because they're not using that.
I don't know. Yeah, what are they? They're not Atlanteans?
No, they're not. I think in the comics they were called Atlanteans, but I think now they're called something different. More so that fits their more Hispanic roots. Anyway, that's the quote. So I think that's a very, very good thing to say to actually market the film. But a lot of people read it and kind of took off with it because I guess The Godfather is kind of considered the greatest film of all time. I think it's a little okay. I don't think it's the greatest film of all time, but
no, I don't think it's the greatest film of all time.
Yeah,
but it's a fucking amazing film. You gotta agree with that.
It's good.
Holy shit, hot take. All right, that's for another.
It's good. It's fine. Yeah.
Wow.
We'll do a whole hot take episode.
All right. All right.
I'll get into it. But anyway, yes. What do you think of those comments? And do you think he should be more careful on how he phrases his thing, or do you think it's actually brilliant the way he's doing it?
No, I think it's a case of people needing to be less stupid,
less reactive,
and reactive.
Yeah.
Exactly. Listen to what he was saying. It's pretty clear that he was making he was akinning it to the story of The Godfather and not saying that it is as good as The Godfather.
Right.
Those are two very different statements, and people need and at the same time, it's just I'm sure I like to think, look, man, I'm cynical, but even then, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt that they're not fucking morons. And I don't think these publications who've been working for years, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They ran with it and they just want to get some bait. That's all. It's just clickbait. That's all it is. So this is more a message for people who are reading it and then following. Don't do that, sheep. Yeah. Okay. That's not what they're saying.
Right.
So
don't fall for it.
No, don't fall for it. But as for the what he's the producer said himself, it's producer, right? Is that what he said?
Producer. Namor.
No, I think that sounds amazing. Are you kidding me? And it sounds totally in line with what we're seeing in the trailers. And I just point out, I want to point out who plays what's his face? Namor. Tenoch Huerta? Tenoch?
Yeah, Tenoch.
Forget, sorry. He honestly looks amazing as the character, and I think he's bringing it.
Yeah,
like I know he hasn't said anything yet, but when you just see him in that role, he's commanding that thing.
Yeah,
his facial expressions, his body language. I mean, I'm actually probably most excited to see what he brings as Namor.
Yeah, me too.
Project. I think he looks awesome, and I think the little wing feet thing. I don't know what that is. But
that's a mutation. He's a mutant.
He's a mutant, right? Yeah. I mean, that was cool. I thought that was cool. The CGI a little wonky, but the idea I thought was pretty cool. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Like he
can fly,
like walking on air, basically some Michael Jackson shit. Yeah. I was like, that's dope. Definitely cooler than Miss Marvel. So I'm excited. No, I think the whole thing is exciting. And here's the other thing I love about that
Cool.
Bring it back to the plot line of Godfather is that it sounds personal,
yes,
and it sounds kind of smaller based on the scope of how far Marvel can typically go. That's right, where it's like it's like a world ending, it's fucking universe ending. This is like this is about the Wakandans and these other tribes, and it's hopefully they keep it smaller because I think that will help everyone swallow sort of like what we're about to face with how are they going to handle Chadwick Boseman's death and all that. So
dude, that's a wonderful way to put it. And then just a smaller family story. Sometimes those are the best. That's why it works so well.
Yes,
figure's not always better. And then like we got a couple details on how we'll end it. This does take place a year after T'Challa's death. We have gotten that little tidbit from the new synopsis, and that a lot of people are coming for Wakanda to take them over. It sounds great.
It sounds epic, man.
This movie sounds great. Epic. It is going to be long, 2 hours and 46 minutes. So buckle up for that.
I'm down.
Yes, Ed.
As long as it's good.
I'm in for it. Let me know.
I bought my tickets just in case. It's like, well, typically, hopefully, I should get them for the after show. But if not, I bought them just in case. Well, dude, okay. So this is gonna be another $1 billion banger.
Oh,
it's 100%. I mean, dude, I could not find seats for the first 2 nights. I just couldn't. I ended up finally finding them, but it was it was almost sold out. Like these are packed.
I haven't looked
within 2 hours,
so I probably should get on that. Actually,
I'm sure you'll find something at least in your area. But in LA, it's just like
LA's crazy with the
LA's crazy, bro.
It's
yeah, dude. Within waking up and like checking, it was like the first couple of showings were completely sold out.
Yeah, there is like a theater every 4 miles in LA, and it's still hard to find fucking tickets sometimes. And I used to live out far in the valley in Woodland Hills, and it's still hard to find tickets out there. It's a pain in the ass, LA.
Fucking AMC Promenade over there and all that shit. Like it's so difficult.
It's insane. But anyway, so excitement for Wakanda Forever is high, and it should be high. And read the full article, please, because again, he's not saying it's as good as a Godfather. He's saying the storyline is like the Godfather, and that's something that should be taken away from that quote. So
exactly, precisely.
Yes,
couldn't have put it better than ourselves. All right, let's move on to the Deadpool 3 announcement. Hugh is back, baby.
That's all we have to say to it.
It's more so that Hugh is back as Wolverine. That might have been a better, because that's what we really care about. More so.
And we got our date. The date did get pushed. It has the I don't know. It's like November something. It's the old Fantastic Four date, I believe.
Okay, that makes sense. So they kind of just
so only got pushed like a few months. Not to be so sad, but so that's very cool. I'm just excited. I figured it was gonna happen. They're such good friends. You have to do something to kind of make a splash with Deadpool.
Especially his first turn into like full on MCU.
You gotta do something to make a splash with them. And it does seem like it will be it's not just a cameo, because you're not gonna announce him to return just for a cameo, which makes me more excited than anything else.
No, this is a buddy cop movie.
It's gonna be a buddy cop movie.
It's like they'll be buddy something. It's buddy. It's both of them on screen. I'm sure the triple splash across the Deadpool logo is not to be taken lightly.
Right.
Like this is them full on, which is great.
Sean Levy, he's gonna be great.
Oh, Sean! I mean, he's just been killing it. I don't see how this can be bad. I just don't want to get overhyped. Obviously, hopefully, because that's what happened with Deadpool 2. I thought Deadpool 2 was going to be fucking incredible.
God.
And I absolutely hate that movie, and I wanted to leave.
Trash.
It was so god awful. I hated it.
It was so bad.
And that's a hot take. That's a hot take. Like most people,
that movie was shit.
Well, I'm just saying, but most people I've come across love that movie or think it's nowhere near as bad as I'm saying. But I'm like, no, it's a bad movie.
That movie is on par bad with Thor: Love and Thunder. In my opinion.
I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave. Well. See, I'd still probably watch Thor: Love and Thunder over Deadpool 2.
I'd watch Deadpool 2 over Thor: Love
Really? Okay. Well, they're both on our bottom.
I think about Thor: Love and Thunder, the more I fucking hate that movie.
The reason I can't, I don't blame you. The reason I can't watch Deadpool 2 is just, again, it's more, maybe this is more for me. I can't, it's just so obnoxious. And I know that Deadpool is that way, but it was just so overbearingly obnoxious. Like it was like gas pedal all the way. Like, you know how guys,
I know exactly what you mean.
Have lulls and valleys. Like, Jesus Christ, like Deadpool is just does not stop.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, oh my god,
it was a lot, dude.
It's a lot.
It was a lot to take in, and it's like, okay, we get it, but can we tell a fucking story here at some point?
Okay. Anyways, well, so obviously we're excited. Everyone's excited that Hugh is back as Wolverine. I don't think anybody would say no to Hugh not being Wolverine. But what do you think, though? What do you think? So do you think this is like another multiverse Wolverine? This is like MCU Wolverine. This is not tied to the first movies, or are they? Like, what are we doing here?
I think look, they basically said, and James Mangold came out and tweeted, Logan will always be Logan, and that's the end of his story.
He literally died. I mean, he literally died, so that makes sense.
In that universe, I think what we're seeing is this is a different Deadpool. You disappeared. This is a different Deadpool, and this is a different Logan. Like, obviously, Deadpool is probably the same character throughout, but maybe Hugh Jackman brings a little bit sort of different thing to the fray this time around. I don't think he's going to be funny, but I think he's going to be, let's be honest, maybe not as rough around the edges.
No, definitely we can't be. I don't think.
Right. So that's to me, that's what it is. It is these are two different characters from a multiverse that we don't know yet.
Yes.
And that's how, because I think everything that 20th Century Fox did is gone. Let's just be honest. It's gone. We're not. I think at one point we thought, oh, we'll see some of these characters. Maybe we'll see.
You mean narratively speaking?
Yes, narratively, yes.
Because obviously, we have Patrick Stewart back in the MCU, and then, but he's not. He's not that.
That's not that Patrick Stewart from that X-Men universe. Everything we've seen from X-Men to this point is fairy dust. It's fucking gone.
Okay. Well, fair enough. That's fine, because all you really need is the actors coming back, and we understand. Again, now that's multiverse. We understand. It's fine. It doesn't necessarily need to tie. But here's it.
Yeah, you don't need it anymore. Crazy.
Do you think?
Good.
Yeah. Right. Well, no, I was gonna say there's a more fun question. Yellow suit. Are we getting it?
I think we're getting the suit. I think
we're getting the suit. I think we need to see it.
I think Hugh Jackman's had several comments saying, "I'm sad that I never got to suit up in this universe."
What happened?
And I think he's going to get it. And let's be honest.
I think so too.
That entire 20th Century Fox universe, outfits, terrible. Awful.
I like the Days of Future Past Wolverine outfit just because it looked the sexiest. But other than that, I didn't care for any of the other ones.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
It's just sexy. I mean, it has nothing to do with the comics, but it just looked really good. I think.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. Yeah, they're done. I think we're going to, those black, they were always all black, no color.
Yes.
Now, yes, I think we're going to see him in his yellow suit with his stupid helmet. And look, this is setting up for Secret Wars. We will not see any X-Men characters, I'm saying it now, before Secret Wars. This is it.
Well, this is what, okay, maybe so. This is what pisses me off. I actually believe that. The thing is that pisses me off is that freaking Kevin Feige, or no, sorry, I don't want to say that. In the shows, they've been fucking teasing the X-Men and the movies. They've been teasing the X-Men like they're right there. Like they're fucking coming out on the neck. They could come out on any next movie.
Right.
And yet I also feel like, no, they haven't exactly established when they're going to announce them. It's one of those things where, because I get that feeling, and it's really fucking annoying. Well, you're going to be, again, you're going to give Xavier in his yellow chair. They announced a whole new 97 show. They did a little tingle of the X-Men score at the end of Miss Marvel. And yet we still don't really know. Like, when are they dropping? But and Wolverine is now part of the MCU with Deadpool 3. So it's like, who fucking knows?
If you look up at the slate that's coming up, and obviously we don't know the Disney Plus slate past Daredevil Born Again, but we know the shows for next year. It's Secret Invasion, Loki season 2, Agatha Coven of Darkness, and some other one. I can't remember the last. Echo.
Echo.
Yeah. So
excited.
Yeah. Shut up. Anyway, we know that there's not going to be X-Men in any of those. Those are all so street level Marvel that I think, and we know the film slate, there's no room for X-Men in any of those movies either. So yeah, to me, there was that report that we mentioned like 3 months ago that said, hey, there may be some kind of contract thing going on where they can't use the X-Men characters until 5 years after the last movie they were in. So Deadpool 2 and Logan I think we're sort of toward the end of that 5 years. And hey,
I see.
24, there you are. So now they're able, because Deadpool 2 was what, 2019?
I believe so.
Logan was
it's either 2018 or 2019.
Yeah, so it's right on that 5 year cut.
Early 2019.
So they're good, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So that
they're being teed up.
That makes sense.
They're being teed up for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking again, a lot of this is going to roll back to our She-Hulk review in a second, but She-Hulk also does a little jab to X-Men. So it's like, are they coming or not? God damn it! We just want them. Stop fucking flicking our bean. Like, let's go.
Flicking our bean.
Deadpool 2 is 2018. Wow. I thought it was 2019.
Yeah, so
2018.
5
So
years. Yeah. It
Um,
makes sense that those are the first time we could see him, right? No Fassbender, none of these other characters that had contracts with them. So,
dude, I'd love them back though. I mean,
would
it's so crazy how synonymous Michael Fassbender
has become.
and James McAvoy have become with those characters. Just like the other, I mean, just brilliant casting. Just like some of the top casting I've ever seen in any movie.
No one agrees with me on this.
God,
the X-Men First Class is by far, in my opinion, the best of that like new trilogy. I know everybody loves.
I think
is the best. X-Men First Class is the best because it is solely about his relationship, their relationship together, and how they were best friends. And the ending is so tragic because you see how they break.
I don't disagree with you, man. I think First Class is better. I think it is the best for sure. No, 100%. Days of Future Past is great. I love it too. But in terms of the story in and of itself, yeah, I 100% think it's a better story. And just it was great. It's a great movie.
So
and you're right.
So I loved that movie.
And again, casting was just spot on.
Yeah,
just incredible what they did there. I think still kind of underrated. Just like how like that shouldn't have happened, right? Like that.
Right.
When you transferring and then making them younger too, like when you go back, you typically that's not a good call.
Work, right?
It doesn't work, and this works so beautifully. It's so great.
I loved it. I
loved it.
That's great.
But yeah, so that's Deadpool 3. See where that goes, but I'm excited. I mean, dude, oh god, like I can already tell. Like the trailer is gonna have him in the yellow suit. The one thing I do want to see though, not more than the yellow suit, is the helmet on with the white eyes. That'd be fucking. That would send me over.
Yeah.
That would send me over.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that.
That would be so cool. Yeah. That would that get you as excited as Brendan Fraser saying he'd be back for that? which one would do it?
I didn't know you're gonna announce that in this episode. Oh my god. Okay, let's quickly talk. Okay, so just really quickly, really quickly, so we're running out of time actually. So Brendan Fraser said something along the lines of, "I wouldn't be opposed to coming back for a Mummy 4. I wouldn't know how we do it, but I wouldn't be opposed." And I texted Alex that I'm pretty sure Brendan Fraser. I'm not sure. I think I just had sex with Brendan Fraser after that.
That was it. Brendan Fraser had sex with you is what it was.
Yes.
No.
I was taking. For sure taking. I mean, come on, man. But look, let's be honest. In the way that he looks now, I don't want to see that.
He could get in shape.
If he could. Then yes.
Unfortunately, I think he could get in shape, but it won't be close to what we saw. I think he's had a lot of. He has been on record saying some of the mummy stunts did mess him up quite.
Oh,
badly.
Sure, I'm sure.
So like, I think that he wouldn't be back to like fully in shape, but I think he could slim down enough to be relevant. Like Harrison Ford
it'd be a lot
fucking shape, and he's about to go swing on a whip in Indy 5. Like,
that's not him. That's not him.
Well, exactly. It doesn't have to be him either.
True. Fair enough.
Look, we don't.
It would depend. It would depend on what Mummy 4 looks like.
Recast his son from the third one because his son had
the son
had no charisma. Recast
that was whack,
right? And then the son's in trouble. I gotta come out in retirement. By the way, we replaced the Rife back with the original Rachel Weisz.
Oh, Rachel Weisz! Oh my god, our original Evie. Like, let's just undo Curse of the or whatever the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Let's just pretend for the love of God.
Yeah.
God damn it.
All right.
I would like it. We'll see, but we'll see. I doubt it will happen. I want to make that very clear.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it will not happen. But
never say never.
I never say never. Never say never.
The money of making original films. They're in the business of doing remakes, reboots, sequels. They ain't about original shit. So hey,
I'll put it this way: if there is a Fraser sans for like, if we start seeing him, we are seeing him a lot more and more. But like after The Whale, because I hear Oscar buzz.
Mm-hmm.
If we keep hearing this more and more, I will say yes, because like that's just how it goes.
Absolutely.
Like, you come back and then you hit nostalgia and then you do other projects that are not, and then that's just how it is.
Yeah,
that's the blueprint. Okay, let's move forward here a little bit. Well, you brought it up really quickly. Harrison Ford,
super fast,
is General Ross in Thunderbolt.
Yeah,
I mean, were you surprised by that? I was. I was surprised by it.
Very surprised. Just because like knowing how Harrison Ford acts, it doesn't
I
feel like
know.
he would go to like another fandom thing because he hates
No.
Star Wars fans. He hates everything. He's just like
He
that.
does.
Like, get the fuck out of my face. I don't really want to talk
Yeah,
about
he's done. He doesn't want to do it.
series. But yeah, I'm very surprised that he said yes to it, and it's just like a fucking what I would say is a boss ass move from him. Like, hey, I've been Indy, I've been Han Solo. Why don't I also be Red Hulk? Which we're getting at this point because World War Hulk is a inevitability.
Well, it's a certainty now.
Oh yeah,
after She-Hulk,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I am shocked, but I'm hyped for it, dude. I love me some Harrison Ford. He is such a funny actor. The way he has his mannerisms and like, I just can't wait to watch him Hulk out. I think that's gonna be cool, man.
Cool. I agree. I mean, it's fucking Harrison Ford.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just say, yeah, he looks perfect for the role. I mean, he looks like General Ross, and I'm glad. I mean, will he play? The thing I'm curious about is will he play it like the late? I'm forgetting his name. What was the actor's name who played General Ross? William Hurt. Will he play? I mean, because this is the same one, I think. Is he going to play it like he does, or is he going to take it on his own? Very different actors. So I'm curious to see how he'll take it. But
yeah,
I'm also just shocked. I didn't think he'd be like, yeah, let's do it. I thought he'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
Too, yeah. But you know, I'm excited to see it. And again, look, I just think it'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, for sure.
Movie, you know?
Dude, look at that cast. That cast is awesome.
Yeah, but
that cast looks great.
As iffy as Marvel has been this year, and really all of Phase 4, let's be honest.
Yeah,
their casting department still gets it.
Oh yeah,
they still 100%. Get it, right?
Yeah,
they're still the best in the best.
They're the best in they're best in the biz. They're best in the biz.
Shang-Chi was so good. The casting of Simu Liu was so amazing. Like, you knocked it out of the park. Some of the Eternals cast, the Icarus guy, Richard Madden, he was great.
I love all that casting.
Yeah, like they do get the casting right. I don't love the story of Miss Marvel, but I think they got the casting right. You know? Yeah. So yeah, I think that as terrible as Marvel has been this year,
they got the characters right. Like, the casting's still right. Again, Tatiana Maslany, which will bleed into what we're about to talk about.
Yeah, let's just.
I think it's great. She's a great actress, and I like her playing the role. I just don't love She-Hulk. All right, guys. Well, that's all the news that we have for today on Marvel. Basically, all Marvel. We had a lot to say, but you know what? It's always a great thing to talk about. Just getting back into the swing of things after a 3-week hiatus, and I had a great time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming up soon is a She-Hulk review. Watch out for that. Werewolf by Night review. And I guess Halloween Ends, because we ended up both watching it, surprisingly, which I didn't expect that to happen. But let's talk about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I have a lot to say about that movie. And I'm curious to see what you have to say about that movie.
So do I.
I have a lot to say. Oh, yes. All right. Cool. So as we close to Halloween, that'll work out. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in as always. And we'll see you at the next one.
All right. Bye.
Bye.